I hope everyone is fine. Sorry for the slight delay. I just noticed that I spoke for 2 minutes, but I forgot to click live. So, yeah, I hope that we are live now. And thanks for joining this 8th episode in the Juno Live series. So, today we are going to implement something special in our Doodle calendar clone app. And yeah, I also suggest you to stick to the end of the call because there might be a special announcement for what's coming next. All right, so no further ado, let's have a look at what we are going to do today. So, you always have those apps where user can generate content, and then you want to have like a public URL, a public page that you can share on social media. And when you share on social media, you don't want to have the same image for everything you share. You want to have like a dedicated page. Similar to when we share, for example, I don't know, like if I go to, that's the website that's generated statically, right? But if I take the a blog post, if I go to Twitter and share that, then I have the image here that comes here. And that works well for static page, but sometimes you want that dynamic, so that means that you want a way to generate a dynamic image here, right? So you have different solutions. One solution is to use third-party providers where you pay them to crawl your app, and then when something is generated in your app, then they generate an image and you can just use that image. But yeah, that's not that cool. So I thought that one other solution is generating an image on the fly. Therefore, the idea is that in our application, so once I've signed in, right? So I'm just gonna create a new identity. The idea is that when I create an event, so that's my party or whatever, that we generate an image for that I can later use in a post that I will share. We will not generate the static content or the HTML. We're just gonna take care of the image today, right? And that's something that I've developed yesterday and which is also already available as a draft PR here, but we're gonna go step by step. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I've used ChatGPT because Rust is not my main skill, so I had to figure out some stuff. And even that way, I have to say it took some tries to to finally figure out the solution. And as a proof that it took several iterations, I just wanted to show you that when I sign in with that identity, look, that's all the tests I have done manually yesterday until I finally managed to have what I wanted. So there was various problems on the way, but yeah, ultimately it worked out. So we're gonna do that, right? Okay. So let's open the project in Rust. And I'm gonna go to the mains so that we do step by step everything, right? And as always, I'm gonna zoom here. Super. All right. So that's our current serverless function. When someone answers, we remember we have that things that when someone answers to a link, remember we did that last week. We had that function that kickstart in the backend and that counts the number of answers, right? But now what we want to do is we don't want something that triggers on answers. What we want to do is we want to generate a social image when something new is added to the events, right? And okay, so what we're gonna do, maybe it's first we're gonna clean a bit that. So let me just take the same file structure as I had here. So I did something called answers, I think, exactly. So first what we want to do is we want to test the collection, and according the collection, either do this or do that, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move that somewhere else, and I will have the same structure. So in answers here, we're gonna make this one private, expose this one, get the context, move that, take this here, okay? And let's take that. So you see what we do now is here we're gonna do that. So we're gonna take the context. In the context, I get the collection, and if the collection is answer, we're gonna do the same logic as we used to do. So blah 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 with count, and we add a default exception that says this is not supported or whatever, huh? Okay, good. Okay, so here I'm gonna commit that with refactoring, extract answer, it's a clean function, and add matcher. All right, so far so good. So now what we want to do is we want to react on events. So as we have seen last week, if we want to react on events, we also have to add the collection here. And here we're gonna add, okay, on events, we're gonna generate a social image, okay? And this function, I will add it in a new module. Let's call it images. Okay, and here we do that, and everything is all right, so that here we can do images, okay? So let's print out, and let's try to redeploy. So here I'm gonna build, okay, here it deploys, and if we create a new event, should have the printout here. Okay, good. So far, nothing new. Here you see it updates the did file because the CLI, when I build, always check if there is a new did file, and if there is one, it automatically uploads. That way we are always up to date. So I will rather put that. Yeah, let's put it here anyway. I will see afterward. And here we're gonna do say fit init hook on events. Now, something I did not add in the draft pair is what we want here. We want to do something if this is a new event, if I edit the event, or if the user, if this action here is running and update the counts. You remember we are updating the counts in the event collection, are triggering. We don't want to do anything. So what we have to do is if context dot data again, but before is the value. Yeah, it's the value before something is modified. So is none, or let's rather say is some. That means that it's not a new entry. Then we're gonna do nothing, okay? And only if this is not a new entry or a new event. Okay, great. Now what we want to do, we want to generate an image. So the logic to do that is the following: is we create a SVG, okay, or let's say we load a SVG, then in the SVG we do some modification, like adding a title. So it's because we want an image, it's like a template, and then in that template we modify something dynamically. In that case, let's say the title. We convert the SVG to an image, like a PNG. Oopla. Because to be able to share that image, for example, as this image here, we have to have like either a JPEG or a PNG or something like that. And then we upload that PNG to the storage. And that's basically it. All right? Okay. So we need a SVG. So what let's create one. That way we have an example, I guess. But what we can already do is we're gonna create a module template. Okay. Did I do singular or plural? Plural, okay. And then we're gonna do that. Just gonna create like a SVG. Okay, so Here, let's create a new image. So we're gonna do 1200 per 630. I don't know if it's still the case, but I have the feeling that it's still like the best practice to have that size. That way the social image works kind of on all social platform. So yeah, let's have a background like with a funny color, and then let's put like what do we have, like a star. This one could be here, and this we're gonna have like a, what color we can have, like this. Oh yeah, that's really nice and super. And we're gonna have like another form. It's really important to have like beautiful card, as you see. Yeah, let's add a curve or a heart. Curve is in French, sorry for that. All right, super. So we have our social card, and I guess we're gonna add like somewhere here in the middle some text. So I export it to SVG. All right, and here what we're gonna do is create that template. Hopla. Just to see how it ends. Yes, nothing particular, we just do that. Okay, and I'm gonna put the SVG here. Hopla. So all right, so I want this SVG, and I don't want to have it inline, so I just gonna format SVG online. I probably have searched that yesterday, yes, but it's probably better to have it inline, but just a bit, it's gonna be more readable for our use case. Here, blah blah blah. So that's some mumbo jumbo added by Affinity Serif. So we don't have link, we don't need that neither. Okay, so let's take that. Right, so we have a SVG, but at this point, it's just that image. What we want to do is we generically want to add something here in the middle dynamically. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a text within that things. So somewhere in the middle of the SVG here, okay, that might not be good. We can adapt that later, but we had like a text zone with X, Y, the font size. We're gonna come back to the font, and here we put a placeholder, okay? That way, when we load the SVG, we can say load that SVG and replace that title with the dynamic title of our data, right? Okay. So if there is any question, you tell. So let's prepare the SVG. So no, that's gonna be step 1 and 2. Okay, and I think I put that at the bottom here. All right, so what do? We pass the context, and in that context, we decode the data. We know that from, I think we have seen that last week, that we need to encode and decode the data because those are encoded, is the new data. Events is a type, that's the type of our answer, right? We have done that last week too. And here is just, I don't know, it's like, let's skip that for now. We import the template, and in the template we replace title with our title. Okay, and if we print that now, print svg data. So if we build, okay, so now if I create an event, you see here we have generated our SVG. You see that's the SVG, blah blah blah. Here the text, and here you see that's the text that I generated. Okay, good. So now we have potentially an image, a source data that has been dynamically modified that we can transform to PNG. All right. So here it's gonna become, from there, honestly, that's where ChatGPT helped a lot. All right. So helped a lot, but also kind of killed me. But yeah, let's start from there. So first of all, we need a library called RESVG. I did not start it. Let's go. So RESVG is a SVG rendering library, and something really important is that it supports WASM, so you can run that Rust library in WASM. And that library has also tons of other projects linked with it, like Tiniskia and PNG, or Tiniskia and PNG. That's another project, and all those together can be used to generate that PNG. So the things we do now, we take that and we put that in a cargo file. Okay, and here we are good. So now here, as you see, I exclude the default features, and here I only set text. So just that cost me 2 hours of my life. So so the thing is, by default, RSVG use text and the local fonts. But since we are running that library in an environment in WASM where there is no font, we have to disable the fonts to provide our own fonts. Otherwise, the library won't render any text. So, yeah, just something you have either to debug or to know. Anyway, I found it for you. All right. Now that we have that library, what we can do is we can take that monster image or snippet to convert it. So here we're gonna go here and we're gonna do this one. Okay. So, and I will call that, and then we can see what's happening. Let me close and open again. That way Rust Rover gonna pick the libraries. I don't know why I have to do that, but yeah. Anyway. Okay. So, as I told you, when we convert, the first things we want to do is we want to have our own font. And because there is none, we want to provide one. And in the template, I have used OpenSen, I don't know how you pronounce that, OpenSen in French. So what we need to add is we need to add the font. So what I do is take this one, here, download it. No. Here. And I add it here, okay? That way, when I will build the canister or the satellite, these bytes will include those, okay? Now, it's important to note that currently you can upgrade your own satellites up to 2 mega. It's just, generally on the IC you can go to 100 mega, but it's just that I don't have implemented the support to upload larger file in the CLI. So whoever starts to have more data in the satellites, so just ping me. That way we synchronize the fact that we add those functionality in the CLI. Just like I never had the need right now, but if everyone has the need, then we're gonna add it, all right? But yeah, in any case, it's always nice to have like small wasm, but let me know, okay? Good. So here we take the default option of the library and we add OpenSen with our font size because we want a font size of 48. Oopla. Then we parse a tree, we prepare the map, etc. This is just plain ChatGPT code, okay? So I'm not gonna explain you something that I basically copy-pasted from the internet. What's interesting is that we give the width and the height to, and as I said, 1200 and so on. Okay, so now I just gonna try to build that. Also worth to note that I did not check how much resources it needs. So it works out, but I don't know if it cost me like lots of cycles or not or whatever. I was able to do lots of tests, but if you want to have that productive, you should also have a quick look at what are the performance and what are the costs at the end. All right. You see, by the way, here, I'm really close to the 2 mega already. So I'm really already at the limit. So that's really interesting. Okay. Just gonna do a test to be sure. Does it still work? I don't have error, so it's fine. Yeah, I removed the print. Okay. So here we have our PNG as byte. So what we want to do? Is we want to upload that to the storage, right? Therefore, we will create a collection here. Let's call it images, which we put in stable memory that everybody has the right to read, but that only us, the administrator, which means me as a controller, but also the satellite itself, can write. Okay? And here it should detect my configuration. I don't know why it did not pick it up. All right. Okay. Ah, it's probably because I created already that collection yesterday. So now what we need to do is we want to upload that, right? So tick, 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 tick. Ah, yeah. It's where we're gonna need something is the satellite. I noticed it yesterday. You remember, like on Juno Live 1 or 2, we generated that JSON file, and in the JSON, we then uploaded that JSON file to the web. That was that example, right? And then I don't remember, like we did encode, blah blah blah, and then we did insert asset, and here we inserted the assets with the header and set asset handlers. When we did that, we added, or I added this function, and this function was accepting a string as parameter, and then the string was converted as byte within the satellites. However, in our example, it's the same approach, but we have bytes here. So this returns a vector, so bytes. So what we want to do is use bytes. So that's why yesterday I created a small patch of the library, which will be delivered in the next version, but can already be used that way. And we also need the types for the storage, which were also delivered as patch. Okay. And then what we do is I'm gonna copy everything. Okay. So let's put that here. So, and I do the same mumbo jumbo too, so that Rust rover notice the types. And here we're gonna insert. Okay. So what we do is as name, I pass the key because every time I generate a new entry, I have a unique key, so I can use that as a name, and I pass the bytes, and we target the collection image, and with that unique key and collection, images slash unique key, we create the PNG, then we create an asset key with that name, the full path, no token because it's public, the owner is the satellites. We set some headers, notably the content type page, and then we do the set handler, which is the function coming from the Juno satellites, which takes care of everything, and that's it. The function is in the storage, right? And similar to the, you can go up here to, there is no limitation in size, but of course, if it's too big, it's gonna be too slow. You're gonna have to pay too much cycle and so on. So it's good to stick to a social card that is not too heavy, right? So, and here I just print out the path for local development. Right. Okay. So, okay. So if everything works fine, I should have like that yellow stuff with the star and written hello world. Okay. not too bad. It's just like hello world is not there, right? So we have to find out why. And it's where it's gonna be a bit tricky to debug. So what did we forget? What did we forget? So let me compare with the template we had. We had like, okay. Yeah. It's probably, let's put it in position 0 here. It's maybe that. And what color is it? White. Let's call it black. Ah, yeah, we're getting there. Okay, so let's put it a bit like, why is it 0, 0? It's here. That's kind of funny. But, and of course, it's a bit rough on the edges. And here we are only setting a sole text. Then you know, like if you generate dynamic content, maybe the user enter like a super long text, blah blah blah, and then you want to split that on 2 lines, and if there is 2 lines, that means that you need 2 elements in your SVG and so on. So of course we I don't did that fine tuning in this project, but yeah, we are getting there, right? So uh, I'm a bit surprised that this one has such a okay, so yeah, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, huh? Like that maybe, and we just gonna put it like in above the others, like this. Yes. Okay, and we do a final test. Super party, yeah. So yeah, there is a small delta somewhere, so it's maybe due to the font or whatever, but yeah, that's something we can fix later, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna commit that, and we want to deploy that on mainnet. So yesterday I created a satellite here. By the way, makes me remember that someday I should really add a button to download the configuration directly from the satellites. That would be really nice. But in this case, I did not commit the Juno file. That's weird. Oh no, I have it here. Okay, looks like I committed it on main, I guess, the other day. Okay, so okay, let's see afterwards which pull request I. So what we want to do is we want to build, and we want to upgrade. So we do a Juno upgrade target satellites minus source, the source, right? And I need to provide my password, so that's a bit annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that because I don't want to open my password manager on the live stream. But yeah, you get my point. So yeah, and yeah, I deployed it actually yesterday. So if we just have a try, is I sign in here. I gonna go in my configuration there, and that's to run against production locally. And here we have list docs. In the dashboard, I will just print out the items. That way I find out my ID. So I sign in. I'm not in production yet. What did I do? So git config container false. That should be good. Hopla. Yeah, I remember. It's big. Here we have it. So and I'm gonna create the let's party. And if I go here now, I have this entry here. Let's party, which is this. So if I open images slash tskey.png, I should have, yeah, I have it. So of course that's another image that I generated yesterday, but you got my point. Yeah. So that would be. I have two PR open, so I will do a cleanup and decide which of the two I merge. But then you have the solution. Sorry. And yeah, at this point you have a social image that is generated, but you don't have yet the metadata. That means that yeah, you still need the page, like the HTML page that is generated dynamically. And that's maybe something we can do in another Juno Live, because I think that what we have to do is when an event is created, we need to generate an HTML page for that. So we probably need to read the 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 state, like the DAP, find the index HTML, and then generate like a special page for the for the for the event. Yeah, we can do that, but we cannot do that in 50 minutes. So I suggest that we postpone that for the next event. All right. I don't know if anyone has question so far. Okay. If not, yeah, as I told you, there is a special announcement today. For those that are in the community, you probably already done that, but I want to propose a SNS for Juno, because I think that the Juno console, particularly the console and the ecosystem in general, should be a DAO. And I will announce that, I don't know, like this week, either tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday, but one of those days. All the material, by the way, is already prepared. Like if you sneak in the draft PR in the website, you might see some PR with the white paper, blog announcement, and so on. And yeah, the idea is that I will propose that, and next week we might code something, but I would like also to use next Juno Live to answer questions about the SNS. So that way everybody has like few days to check out a bit all that documentation and ping me with any question. But yeah, generally speaking, my point is that Juno provide code to developer like opinionated smart contracts. And even though I'm probably a trustable person, I hope also, I think everything will be really trustable if it becomes DAO. And yeah, I hope you're gonna be all in, and looking forward to your question and your support. All right, so that's it for today. Lots of stuff coming on. It's gonna be great, and speak soon. Enjoy your week. Bye bye.